One of our good friends, Mayor Glenn Jacobs from Knox County, Tennessee. He's also in the WWE Hall of Fame, professional wrestling named Kane. Mayor, great to see you.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
We were wrestling a little with the headsets, but essentially the CNN pollster was upset. He's a good guy, actually does a really good job. But just the numbers say that Trump's still doing well on the economy compared to Democrats.
Yeah, it's just common sense. And it's just the fact that really the Democrats, as you said, they don't have any ideas. And the ideas that they do have are pretty destructive and basically all based in identity politics. And just it doesn't work. Trump's policies work. It's what Americans want. And you're seeing the fruits of that. I
mean, give me an example. How many people do you walk around with in Knox County that say, you know, my heart goes out to Harvard?
Yeah.
You know, the way they chant pro-Palestinian phrases and Hamas flags, I really feel for them.
Yeah,
you know?
or man, I can't wait till my daughter goes out there and plays soccer against those guys.
Yeah.
So
I interviewed two parents who said they were told, because they were lining up against two trans men, their kids, they're 15 years old, they want to get a college scholarship, and the parents said, we will kick your kids off the team if you act up on the sideline and protest that your kid's playing against a guy.
Right. That whole thing is completely unfair. You know, we
basketball,
talk about equity,
soccer,
yeah, all of these things, and you have girls, women who have spent their entire lives working very hard to excel at a sport, and suddenly they get treated like second-class citizens.
So what happened is when I asked guys like Jason Crow, congressman from Democrat, I said, well, you agree that trans men, boys, whatever they're going through, should not be playing against boys, because this rarely happens. What do you mean it rarely happens? It happens. Happens in Oregon this weekend, happened in California again last week. But their answer is it rarely happens. Right. It's a non-issue. What do you mean it's a non-issue?
Right. It's not.
That's not an answer.
It is an issue for someone like Riley Gaines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge issue. It's an issue for all the girls that I have two daughters, and it's an issue for all the girls who are not allowed to compete on an even playing field.
Right.
It's a big issue.
And then you have the track and field over in California, and then you look at Democrats. I think there's one senator that says, I agree, and a governor says, you might have a point, but to me, just shows some courage. And
the whole thing is just, it's all identity politics. We don't want to offend this very small minority of people, and you hurt everyone else in the process. I don't understand that.
So what are the top issues with Knox County right now?
Yeah, Knox County is in a great place. One thing that we're really excelling at and we're really excited about in East Tennessee is nuclear energy. We're the home of nuclear energy. Oak Ridge is, which is where everything really started. It's only about half an hour for us. And
do you know Democrats are actually on board with this?
They should be. They need to be.
Have they expressed that to you?
What's that? No one's expressed that to me, personally, but I would think so.
It burns clean.
Well, it burns clean, and it's also with everything that we're seeing. I just got a Cybertruck, it's the most awesome vehicle on the planet, by the way. But with everything that we're seeing as far as the stress on the grid, it is the only clean energy that will provide what we need moving forward in the 21st century.
So what do you have in Knox County?
So it's actually right outside Knox County in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It's Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is really the home of nuclear energy and a world leader. And we just landed the first uranium enrichment facility being built in the U.S. in like 20 years. It's a $6 billion project, largest in a state economic development project in the state's history. And we believe that's going to be an anchor for more and more of the nuclear sector coming to Tennessee. And if we can become a leader in that, that's just a huge deal. We talk a lot also about small modular nuclear reactors, which is the future until we get to, at some point, fusion. But there's a lot of great things going on.
So John Catsimatidis is one of the most successful men in America who owns WABC, which is one of the affiliates we're lucky enough to be on. He wants to get involved in, or he has, with, what do they call it? Like miniature?
It's small modular
nuclear energy.
Right.
Could you describe that as compared to a full-blown nuclear plant?
Sure. So the difference is these are just like modular homes. These are built off-site and then brought to the site and assembled there. They're much safer than conventional nuclear reactors, and they're in a much smaller footprint. They don't produce quite the energy, but it's made up for in the smaller footprint. It is the future. It's just a matter of really getting the first one going, and the economics of scale and all those things kick in.
So
but it's a tremendous. It's going to be the future, and it's going to be the answer. Again, at some point, fusion will come online, but that's probably a few decades off. In the meantime, this is kind of the transitional step
Do you worry about security? Because you see some of these psychos that open up with flamethrowers in Boulder, Colorado, and some of the people that want to blow up Governor Shapiro's house. And you see all these psychos that blow up school shootings. They might go, hey, I have a way to hurt America.
Yeah, we're not going to see that in Tennessee. We're a very conservative state.
But do you have security?
Oh, of course. Well, I don't, personally,
No. Around
I'm
the nuclear,
good. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all, that's a DOE complex. There's also a DOD component there. So it is heavily secured.
All right, good. That's good to know. So in terms of what's going on with the Democratic Party in particular, we've got this book coming out that says that Joe Biden was effectively not there. Now there's a pushback. If we could get it up, Eric, for Bill Clinton from yesterday, but Ashley Biden refuted that her father is bad. He said the only cover-up of this family is a beach cover-up. He's aged, yes, and we all do. And the stress of the presidency accelerates, but he is more than capable of doing the job. And then listen to Bill Clinton.
I had never seen him and walked away thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his brief.
You never saw any cognitive decline?
So I didn't know anything about any of this. I saw President Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape. But the book didn't register with me because I never saw him that way.
What do you say to these people?
I'd like to ask President Clinton what the definition of is. Because here we go again. That's just straight gaslighting. That's all it is. We could see that at home in our living room, just watching TV. The very unfortunate, actually. I feel terrible for President Biden and what he was put through. It was obvious that he was suffering from serious cognitive decline, and the fact that the media finally came forth with that, and the same people that are covering it up are the ones now talking about it. But just the average person out there could see what's happening, and I think one of the major questions that the Democrats need to answer, say Kamala Harris, and this was never brought up in the campaign, is when did she know this and what did she know? She's either lying or she's not smart enough to really be able to say, hey, this guy doesn't have those faculties about it.
It's impossible to know, for her to be with him 2 or 3 times a week for 4 years and not know. So, and
I would err. I don't think she's a stupid person. So I would err that this was a cover up and it needs to be examined.
Mr. Mayor, the thing is, this is going to be an intramural fight. So you're going to have governors who have nothing to do with Joe Biden say, how dare you run for governor? You just lied to the American people for 4 years, and they're Democrats.
Right.
So Becerra, this guy Villagrosa, who's mayor of L.A., wants to be governor of California, goes after Becerra and Kamala Harris, preemptive attack, to say, first you have to tell the American people why you lied. Right. About Joe Biden. And you don't see a Republican in that fight yet.
That's exactly right. And this is one of these things that's just for the good of the country. I mean, who is actually running the United States of America throughout Joe Biden's tenure? And it obviously wasn't him. That's a question that we deserve the answer to.
What about your future as you look at Tennessee?
Yeah, for me, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm term limited and will be out of office in September of next year.
But do you like politics?
I do. There are days, but for the most part, I do, and I feel that I'm doing something constructive and helping move our community in a positive direction. So I'm not sure what the future holds for me, but whatever it is, I'm excited about it.
Do you think the president will be in support of you seeking higher office?
I think that he would be. He's told me before that he would help me, so I think so.
All right, it'd be somebody bigger than Fetterman in the Senate. And you could probably take him right now. Although you'd probably get along with him great.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We might have a big with Trump or with Fetterman.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, with Fetterman, I might not be able to talk some sense into him. We'd have some big guy camaraderie going on. So we'd have to see.
I hear about that. Mayor Glenn Jacobs, thanks so much.